his and then I think today we have also the presentation of Wim in one of Nagari Panampuang, and he is already tried to report all of the 20 days working as a consultant and giving some ideas what are the very good steps of the society, how to make the zero clean, zero, what do you call it, zero waste management system. I'm already active in attending his suggestion, and we have a very good steps. I learned with him actually because he has a lot of experience in developing countries, like how to avoid environmental damage, how to organize garbage, waste bank, how to manage them. In each step, a very detailed activities that he proposed to everybody in the Agam regencies, including the Bupati of Agam regencies, and also a lot of friends coming and join with us. So it is a good meeting, and I hope that next year's we have a various. I hope that I have a contact at least 3 meetings, international meetings. Two of them are coming from America. Professor Oleg also will coming to our campus, and also Professor Cynthia. Professor Cynthia is the head of Eastern Economic and Business Review journals, and she will be also join with us at least for 4 weeks. So I plan to bring them to our campus, and at the time, I think whenever a student need to discuss with him, let me know, and we can arrange quite long before he come and join with us. So you can discuss with them. And the others is our class, our class will make a collaboration with what we call it, National Energy Committee, which is I propose to have central activities for Sumatra taken by our department. Our business school will handle it, like energy transfers, governance of clean management, the renewable energies. And the issue, of course, the issue of energy is related with the issue of food, and also the issue of for futures of the change in the environmental sectors. And for everybody who are working in the local government, it is very useful. Not only local government, but for those who are concerned with NGO, non-state actors, that is a very good an example of the collaboration. I hope that next year, starting on January, we will bring those activities into the class, and then everybody can join and can learn together. That is my introduction. I think I got this request by secretary of our FM to join with this class, and I think I'm representing not only lectures, say for example, sharing the knowledge about the governance and organizational change, but also I like to share with everybody in this class as a scholars who are involved also in the business environmental activities, not only in the pure business sectors, because I have various business activities which I'm involved a lot as an owner, as a commission, but also a lot of activities that I'm involved in the social organizations. That is also a very important things. The data also show that more than 50% of the job available will be in the social sectors organization, not in the economic sectors. So the growth of social sectors will improve the number of people who are involved and participate to produce goods and services in social sectors. So our priority is, of course, to understand people who understand and to be able to look at what is the steps, what is the governance means, what is the steps in organizations, which is in each step of organization change cannot be act without any fully understand in each level of the organization. So my understanding, because I'm involved also a lot of my time in the university, I have a lot of my time also involved with the government of central government. I was involved a lot in designing the educational policy, in technical and development project with the Asian Development Bank. I'm also involved a lot in designing the decentralization of policy with the World Bank. That is various of my experience, and as well, I'm involved a lot in implementing the idea of small scales of microfinance in Agam Regencies, in Padang Regencies, in Padang cities. I was designed also a small credit market in Bukit Tinggi. I'm the owner of the BPR Jam Gadang, BPR Syariah Jam Gadang. I'm the owner of the BPR. And so the designing since the beginning until now. So we can share how is the governance and organizational change is a very important things. From the last experience with the Pak Dr. Henmaidi, Professor Henmaidi also, we are initiating a business implementing a new kind of innovation, product innovation. And I think I'm glad to say that Professor Henmaidi as a directors, I am the commission of the related product like noodles products, which is now ready in the market, and we will share the experience how governance of producing noodles. The others is also we plan to producing tahu and tempeh production under our films, and also production of waters, Minangkabau waters, and brasolok, brasolok super, and also what we call it ingredient for food. We have also a production of such kind, and many things that I'm going to share with you with the very short class this afternoon. So may I share my presentation first, and then we are looking what I'm preparing today. I hope that everybody can contribute. Can you see my presentation now?
Yes, bro.
Okay, okay. Just to make sure that it is easy for everybody to follow my course. And I'm start to to say that there have two things that everybody know, either in business sectors or in government sector, government sectors, or in non-government organization sectors, business sector, non-organization sectors, and government sectors. Those are body who are involved in Indonesia in business or in non-business sectors, in social sectors. There are two things that in the beginning we have to understand: uh, the issue of governance. The governance, in short, I will show you in the presentation later on. Governance in Indonesian terms mean that tata kelola, governance, tata kelola, how the organization are managed, from the top to the lowest management, in order to achieve the direction, the achieve targets. So governance is the way to achieve, whenever its implementation are very thoughtful, are very good enough, it will produce what we call it efficiency in organization. It make effectively in a various way of steps in organization. That is one side. The other side, the terminology of organization. Sometimes it is difficult to separate between organization and institutions. So in institution, in a more broad issue like in government, government is a part of institution, and organization is a part within institution. So the objective of institution is, of course, to provide good and services, yeah, which is required by society, by population, or by customers. And the two terminology we are trying to look, its dimension, its relevance for everybody who are now joined with our class. So what is our target for this kind of subject? At least it improves your understanding, everybody understanding the principles of governance, the idea of governance. You might be able to compare between organizations who have governance quite enough, compared with the organization who are not established in implementing its governance. The others is, of course, the issue of firms, the issue of corporates, and the issue of government according to its roles, because the roles of firms is different with the roles of government. The governance in governments, of course, is similar with the governance in the firms. The governance in NGO is similar with the government's governance in the governments. Okay, it's only a little bit governance, tata kelola. Okay, the tata kelola is the similars. The firms, I mean the principles. This is similars in the government and in the social sectors. In principle, there are applying how the principle of management, like planning, organizing, actuating, controlling, in orders to achieve the objective of organization. The second one is the dynamic of organization. The organization where exists in a certain place. Firms operating in a certain level of cultures. Like organization in Minang is quite different when there are existing in the Betawis or in the city like Jakarta. The government operating in the rural levels, like in pemerintahan desa, for example, are operating is different with the pemerintahan, the government at the kabupaten or even at the provincial levels, because of it's influenced by the local cultures. It influenced by a lot of aspects that we must be considered in the business sectors. Of course, the owner of the business sectors influence the existing of the organization itself internally, but also the business sectors are influenced by external factors. So everybody have to think and have to be aware with the certain of dynamics because of improving IT, improving human resource which is involved in the organization, dynamic adjusting because of a policy given by government, or because of the external environmental change or in internal environmental change. The organization must be changed as well from one time to another, and how to adapt, how to make the organizational change will achieve the objective much faster, the objective organization much easier, much efficient, and reducing cost. Of course, when the reducing cost and effectively, and the organization will produce a lot of efficient. Whenever there are a lot of efficient, there will be a competitive, because in the competitive itself, according to the porters, it will make them be able to say to influx into the market and to make the share of their function much bigger compared with the previous one. I think it is very clear, the second one, the dynamic of organization. The others is that firm existing and corporates and government like BUMD, BUMN, BUMDes, cooperative, banking sectors, business sectors, either big, medium, small, and super micro sectors, economic sectors like starting from agriculture, animal husbandry, forest sectors, and manufacturing sectors, service sectors, banking sectors, and transportation sectors, government sectors, non-government sectors, social sectors, and so on. So the existing and where the organization exists. I think that is what we need as the expected learning outcome of our meetings. And particularly for your future careers, of course. Why you need to improve your knowledge in such kind of the very interesting issues, due to the fact that the government, whenever you are working in the government sectors, the type of government is so different with the previous 20 years, current and futures. It's almost different. It's almost totally different, including for you who are helping, like people who are working like in the institution of educational institution, or even in a hotel institution, or business hotels, or business in tourism, or in the culinary sectors. That is a difference. So for everybody who are working with the local government, of course, for your future careers, how you are be able to use such knowledge to improve the position of organization, and it help to acquisite and to achieve the objective of the local government, which is not easy, okay, because of a limited number of knowledge of everybody, how we are adapted and how we meet the whole and internal existing environmental problem. Environmental issues problem is not only environment, but also like internal management, human cultures in internal, and so on. So the concern on governments will improve the accountability of good and services that we are produced. Like we are in we have an accountability. What do you mean by accountability? Pertanggungjawaban, like that, you know. If we are making any kind of services, we need to make sure for our key performance stakeholders, with the key stakeholders, whether our services are better or not. If the services are bad enough, the customer will judge us. We are not a very good organization. When you are running a hospital, for example, the governance in the hospital is very important. If not, the services will not fulfill the objective of hospital. Beside hospitality, hospital will provide any services that fulfill the customer satisfaction, of course. So, and second one is customer and their critical roles. The second one is of course, everybody in this class must be able to understand the customer and their critical roles. We have to be able, what is the mind inside the customers. For example, you are as a running a business, you have to know exactly how customer are understand first, and then make them enjoy, and then attract them in order to make the choice of the customer for your product related. That is not easy because of customer having their own behaviors. I might say in this context, customer and their critical roles, how accountability I'm suggesting to the, do you know Hockey Supermarket? Hockey Supermarket is my friend's, the owner of the Hockey Supermarket is my friend. Every step in Hockey Supermarket is asking to me, Bu Nel and Pak Edi. You know what is the governance in Hockey Supermarket? Is that you might find that a service in front. Whenever you come to Hockey Supermarket, everybody who are the parking men are directly giving a direction to your cars, and to make your car promptly available in the car parking, and then you can buy everything there. And then after that, the parking man try to help you to bring all kind of the customers and breaking into inside the car, which is able, what we call it, that is the customer oriented strategies. How much money does the hockey invest to find out another 4 people who are working to shift, another 20 billion per month invest to put a salary for them in order to give the services to the customer. 20 billion is a very easy money for them because the price can be put little bit higher, and then it can be produced. Now I'm asking, why don't you give another service whenever people bringing the car there, and just clean the car, and then the owner of the car are very happy while they are waiting the wife to do and to buy something, and then the car have already fixed, although it is not very clean. But in fact, that is what we call it critical roles in customers. If you are in as a government office, you have to understand what is the customer need in every single step of services we are given. Are they need to give a very quick service? Are they need a very clear services? If they need a clear and clean services, you need to understand what is the problem of the current services. I'm asking one of my neighbors close to my house. He is already old enough. He's all 84 years of age. He claimed to me that he is already a single, and then he has a piece of land. In order the land is having what we call it certificate, he tried to improve what we call the sign of the land. And what is the problem? The problem is appears because of a lot of pre-request, like a sign of the Kepala Dusun, the sign of Kepala Wali Nagari, a sign of everybody who are in the boundary of the land. That's okay because of its regulation. But what is not okay? The not okay because of people in the village, in the village say that, oh, because of we are now going to have an election, you need to wait until the election ended. That is not rational. Why is the services is so long? What is the problem? That is a kind of what we call it. It's not just with the customer needed. Such kind of any type of services given by the system. Whenever the local government need to have a lot of taxation coming to their local government, whenever people are selling their land or selling their house, it needs a lot of things. The process of selling land and house, the requirement, like pajak bumi dan bangunan, KTP, KK, and so on, which mean that whenever the requirement is not enough, the process of the selling will postpone. And will postpone means that the money are not entering to the local government because of the selling are postponed. And it need a refreshment policy because of it is a complicated. So governance must be able to avoid inefficiency. Okay, governance must be avoid. Jadi mengurangi keterlambatan layanan, making much more efficient. Everything having to work, and everything must be more efficient, but not promptly. Jadi tidak boleh sekonyong-konyong cepat. Gradually, systematically, in order to achieve the objective of organization. The others is what we call it production with a minimum social and environmental impacts. So whenever firms have to be concerned with the production of environmental impact. Now it's not only environmental impact, halal impact, a halal and toyib impact. So production of the good and services requires what we call it halal things. Say, for example, because of we are a Muslim. You know who concerned with halal? My friend Chinese in Padang, very concerned with halal. He is the owner of a coffee shop. He is concerned with halal coffee, halal food in his shop. So whenever you are finding out in the coffee shop who are having a labeling of halal, for example, that is Chinese people. That's why people are a lot visiting their business because of everything in the Chinese business are improve their governance, you know. So production with the minimum social cost. Minimum social, what do we mean by minimum social cost? Every policy have to be taken into consideration what is the burden of the social. Like whenever we make a new road having a social cost. People who are living along the road having a negative impact because of we are making a road, like dust or maybe sound. You know, whenever I'm living in Australia, my friend just contract one of the rooms very close to the South Road, you know, and then the road are enlarging by government of South Australia. What happened? He got compensation bigger than the price of the price of the price of the sewa kamarnya. Jadi compensation much bigger because of enlarging. That is because of the government of South Australia aware with the social impact of making a new road. So, for example, if you allow people are having a market like in Padang Luar, you know Padang Luar, or in the what do you call a traditional market. At the time of the traditional market, like in Padang Luar at the Sunday, in Kota Baru on Monday, in the others traditional market, we have what we call it a social congestion because of the traffic was very jam. You know what happened? Its impact on the duration of achieving from one period origin to destination. When I was a young in 1981, when I was from Bukit Tinggi to Padang, it only takes 2 hours by bus. I took by ANS or by NPM at the time only 2 hours. Now what happened? It took 3 hours. And we can calculate that another half hours in Kota Baru and another half hours close to Padang. And what happened? It not efficient 50 minutes. That's 1 hours. Whenever Bukit Tinggi needs a lot of tourism, for example, for hotel, for restaurant, 1 hour of one trips inefficient. If the 2 hours, which means that 2 hours are losing the potential market that are everybody can buy everything, with everybody can enjoy everything. That is a consequence of social impact of the market, of the road, making enlarging the road. Social impact of a bad condition of toilet. You know, can you show to me where is the good toilet along with Bukit Tinggi and Padang. At the time you are stopping in every place, can you show me where is a good toilet? Maybe a lot of example is the bad toilet. I mean the just ordinary toilet. The toilet which is look like in the hotel. No, we cannot find. That's the problem of the social impact of the toilet to the everything, like for the tourism sectors, for the income of the coffee shop sectors, restaurant sectors, and so on. So we need governance for that. We need governance. What else? Environmental impact of sounding. I'm living in Australia almost 5 years, 7 years. I'm living close to uh, southern part of Adelaide. Whenever you go to Adelaide in southern part of South Australia, there have what we call it sound taxation. You know sound taxation? Taxation due to the airplane have to land. So during a certain level from the Adelaide airport, all of household they're having compensation because of sound. Jadi pajak bunyi gemuruh pesawat. Jadi rumah tangga mendapatkan pajak itu. Siapa yang membayar? Both passengers and company. Excuse me. Excuse me. The other is regulation and its improvement in monitoring and evaluation. So concern for you, of course, in order to improve the existing regulation. Regulation need to be produced quite long, particularly for political system is not so good. Like why KPK cannot work very good? Why inspectorate having no great roles in order to improve the transparency or accountability? Because of its regulation. KPK cannot make a lot of works due to two things. First is there is what we call the regulation how to rampas, how to acquisite the harta, the asset of the corruptors. There is no regulation for that. The second one is the regulation of number of people who are to become involved in KPK. So KPK have a very limited people who are helping. That's make the organization cannot produce optimally. That's the meaning of regulation. Regulation at the national level, but too much regulation will make firms or private sectors are not good too. So we need to be understand the between regulation which is produced by central government from one side, with the other side is of course how to make the organization works very well. And I might move to greater roles of private producers. Next, private will involve a lot, like in US or in Europe, the involvement of private sectors. Excuse me. So greater roles of private producers on social sectors and environmental as consequence of the risk and its impact. So that is what we call the significant competency for everybody in this class. I think I might move to firms, corporate, and government. Of course, everybody know that firms and corporate produce good and services need for customer. Produce good and services with the side negative production. William Nordhaus is a good, for example, he is now received a Nobel Prize in 2019 on related environmental issues. And of course, firms must be able to concern with either big firms, medium or small and medium enterprise, concerned with what we call a side effect, brand effects, or customer effects. In order to fulfill what we call it the change in customer orientation. And of course, firms producing benefits. In the firms, the benefit, of course, to improve the market shares. Sometimes firms improve the market share. Sometimes firms improve the roles, profits, improve the satisfaction of human resources. And of course, firms reducing costs of social and environment. The objective of government, of course, is to improve the way in which firms operating, the way in which improve the government and its roles. That's why the benefits of government is whenever the market cannot works directly without any roles of government, like health sectors, like educational sectors, like sectors for elderly, sectors for organizing market, organizing road transportation, organizing environment, organizing women, organizing economy, okay, and so on. And of course, bad commodities, product and side effect of production. That is what we call it, bad commodities. How about how about stress people, people who are become stressful? That is a side effect of development. Side effect of IT, like the enforcement of IT to the way in which students are able to read, to the way in which the manner can be diminished or can be improved as consequence of IT. That is what we call a side effect. So whenever the side effect is bigger, which means that the governance is not be implementing. Why may I say that LGBT? Why LGBT is improved in West Sumatra? Because its governance are not clear enough. And then the local government are not be able to inform, to make the policy are much faster, because they are not understand the negative impact of development. Why everybody now, the divorce rate are increased? Why what do we call it? Woman harassment are increased, or child harassment are increased, because there is no clear cut in governance. And people must be improved the way in which they respond to the roles which society make, or local government makes. So that is what we call a relationship between firms, corporate, and government. Government how to regulate firms, and firms how to produce in order to achieve their own objective. Government have also their own objective. Firms also having their own objective. Okay. May I move to the another's? Government and its priority. Firms and its context to a priority. Government and firms' roles in their context of regulation and equity. Regulation and equity. You know, equity means equity itu keadilan. That is a principles in government services. In the firm service, is there equity need for the firms? Yes. Equity needs given by firms, although in the conventional way of thinking, firms maximize the profit. That is what we call in the capitalist system. In Islamic system of thinking, firms must be able to achieve equity because equity is the product of everything. What do we mean by equity? Equity means that to fulfill what is the customer needs or population needs or society needs accordingly. There is no left behind. There is no access left behind, say, for example, in educational services, in employment and job, in health services, in what we call access into the basic needs services. To everything must be have what we call equity. Regulation means that in the various way, nation regulation and regulation under the religion way. This is different. According to religion, they have their own regulation. Because of we are a Panchasilized government, which means that the regulation of the nation are the above of the regulation of our religion. Our religion are not be applied directly except for every places or a particular place. So you have to be understand that between organization, equity, regulation, and the roles of firms, government, and non-government organization. Those three things. So what is the priority? It's the first step, of course. To improve the governance, you need to have what we call it having a direction of the organization, like vision, mission. What do we mean by vision? Vision means that a condition which are to be achieved by a certain of organization. A condition, long-term condition, mid-term condition, and the short terms. An accumulation of the vision is the big vision of the futures. No? Vision need, what do we mean by mission? Mission means that why the organization was born. Why the organization was born. Like us in the mission of the ITB has is, why they are born, is to produce services of undergraduate, postgraduate, Now we are opening, we are going to open what they call it, Islamic Montessori school system. It will be open starting in this January. Jadi kita akan buat itu yang namanya Islamic Montessori system. Doakan ya. Ini kemarin sudah dilatih lagi dari 15 teachers, and there are lolosnya hanya 9, and then 9 we have an access and another conversation, and it only lolos 6 we include with the psychological test, and we improve 6 of them having a very intensive course on Islamic Montessori system. And we hope that maybe 6, 5, 4, even only 1, we just only getting 1, and then we recruit again. In order, we make sure that our mission, of course, is to produce a very good pre-primary school or PAUD school system. So because of MM have already established, S1 have already established, D3 is already established, now we are having an earlier grade of education, which is very important for the Bukit Tinggi society. The meaning of mission. The mission in the, say for example, of Pemda Bukit Tinggi is of course to give services to the society in Bukit Tinggi. The mission of my perusahaan namanya PT KBM Konsorsium Bisnis Minangkabau. The mission is to produce good and services who are created by a local champion. Jadi kami buat sendiri, karya sendiri, dan berdikari sendiri. That is my mission. Jadi kita nggak boleh hanya say that, oh, I'm try to ban the product of Israeli. How can we ban? Because we are not be able to produce. So we need to produce a similar product. Now you can ask to me, we are already produce also sabun cuci piring. Okay, sebentar saya perlihatkan sebentar. I glad to show to you, to everybody in this class, this is my product. Can you see? This is my product. This is my product. Bisa lihat? Tak bisa ya? Bisa ya?
Kan, Prof.
Bisa ya? Nah, ini dia. Ini masih local made. Nanti, jadi ini izinnya masih sedang proses. Tapi ini jauh lebih murah dibandingkan dengan yang di pasar, tapi sudah cukup untung. Jadi bisa dipesan ini ke SMK-nya kami yang di Kamang ini. Ini student yang membuatnya. Ini diproduksi, ya kan? Ini perusahaannya Pak Henmaidi, direktur utamanya. Ya, ini Pak Henmaidi. Jadi yang saya katakan governance-nya ini semua ini governance. Ini say for samples, ya. Ini ada halalnya. Ini ada you know mocaf noodles? Mocaf noodles is not the similar with the noodle which is like Indomie dan Supermie. Totally different. If you need the cheap one, you can eat that, but it's not healthy. It is not healthy for the body. This is the healthy food. Because of there is no bukan prescription, ada penyedap without any bumbu penyedap. Satu. And less gluten. Very least gluten. Dia kenyang, tetapi glutennya adalah kecil. Jadi bagi ibu-ibu, ini bisa untuk 2 anak. Jadi harganya mahal, tetapi ini bisa untuk 2 paketnya. Cukup untuk 2 anak. Jadi kalau ada anak yang di SD, 1, di SMP 1, dia bisa buat langsung separuh seorang memasaknya. Jadi cukup 1 dibeli 2. Dibandingkan dengan supermi, dia 2 jam itu menjadi lembek. This is not lembek. This is a very it look like pasta, Italian pasta. Supaya ngerti betul gitu kan how we produce any ikan. So having direction vision. What is our vision? Our vision here is to improve the healthy of the population in Indonesia. To create employment because of mock-up noodle having produced by local farmers. Kalau sekalian everybody in this class say consume noodles, ordinary noodles, it will not affect on employment because the grain are imported from America, from Canada and Australia. That is no employment effect because of to producing grain are having a farmer from outside. Now to produce some kind of mock-up, we need the local farmers. So we create a lot of job. That is our mission and vision. This is what is our vision. To substitute. Ya, jadi mencoba mensubstitusi produk yang dihasilkan oleh the 9 naga besar or even from the Israeli product. Harus kita lakukan sendiri. Dan kami sudah bisa melakukan ini sekarang. Ini ownernya saya. Ini ownernya saya. Saya punya sahamnya, saya miliknya di sini. Dan saya bekerja untuk buat ini bumbu di dalamnya 1.5 years. To make only bumbu, the small bumbu, we need 1.5 years to produce. To make the, let's say, to make the color like this, it needs 23 photos to make them into become like this. No, that is what we call a branding methods. First, having direction and vision. So what is our vision in market share? Only 1% of market share. That is my vision. Only 1%. If 1%, we are a very great business in this. If we got 5%, it is a lot business after that. It is only from the nodders. This is the example of the first step. Okay, this is the example of the first step. By vision next, after this, making local bread. Jadi saya tidak mau lagi makan kuenya, roti-rotinya yang dihasilkan oleh yang sebelum ini. Because of that I come from the imported grain. Now I'm going to make a new kind of bread. 1 per kecamatan bread will produce a lot of business in West Sumatra and in Sumatra, in Java. That is my vision. And the others.
Excuse me, Prof. I ask you about the in Minangkabau noodles, Prof.
Yep.
We know. First, I will really interesting about the Minangkabau noodles is the uniqueness product. But I think what are the challenges to you but the manage the Minangkabau noodles? We know the noodles industry. In the food, Indomie is the leader of industry with the low cost from to the customer. How do you manage this situation?
Yes, that's a good question. We start 3 years ago, and then we beat the market actually. But what happened at the time? This is the experience in organization. We are not be able to set down first the internal management system in organization. That is my fault. That is my friend's fault. We are not be able to organize the quality of the bumbu, the quality of bumbu. The problem in the very previous is because of the quality of bumbu. Now the quality is already governance. Jadi sudah diatur betul, sudah diuji coba, gitu kan? So when you are asking how we meet the competitive, because of the leader is of course Indomie and the kind. We need to adjust gradually with the certain steps in the market. And the previous one, we are not giving a targeted customer. Now we are having a targeted customer. We are not ready in the field of kabupaten. We are ready in the big city. Jadi kami tidak masuk di kabupaten. Biar dulu kabupaten jalan. Tapi establish in Padang, Bukit Tinggi, and Jakarta. That is next 3 years only. That there's a kind of policy I'm suggesting to the organization. And what is the others? Of course, we need to adjust and very close with the millennials with using IT now. My friend having a very intensive in order to let people know about this kind of product. Try to do our best and try to improve the meanings of this kind of product. Jadi disentuh itu adalah kepada customernya dulu. Apakah customernya become rational or tidak? Jadi yang disentuh itu ini untuk lapang kerja loh nanti. This is for the sake of lapang kerja for everybody. Nah, jadi kalau dia tersentuh, oh ini produk, baru ada kebanggaan, like in the South Korea. Why people are buying the South Korea product come from the South Korean? Because their nation improve all of the citizen beloving. Jadi dia mencintai sekali produk of their local. Jadi kami akan coba nanti mendekati itu in order to meet the challenge of our competitor. We are very small, my target only 1%, ya. Jadi target kami itu hanya bisa mengisi 1% saja cukup. You know how much import of the terigu per year? 50 triliun rupiah import terigu saja. Jadi nanti it's maybe I can make another nanti cassava production in Pasaman, in Sawalunto, Sijunjung, and a lot of small film nanti akan mengelola ini, processing cassava, and its cassava become a noodles. It contain the similar taste. Cobalah rasakan, pasti sama dengan rasanya. That's according to my judgment, okay. So that is my experience. The second one is to minimize impact of social environment. What is the minimize of social environment? Due to the fact that now, it is a lot of disease coming from the food. Cancer of breast cancers or cancer of human a lot. Even now for male too. But women are a lot of cancers. It might be it's come from food. And it might be it's come from food fortification. That is our concern in this, to minimize the impact of social and environment. That is our mission. So every organization next, either in business sector or government sector, must be concerned with the impact of social environment. Third is producing regulation under steering and budget. Like us, what is our regulation here? Memasaknya tidak boleh kurang 5 menit misalnya. That is regulation. That is governance. Boleh ditambahkan dengan sayuran yang lain. That is governance. boleh ditaruh di luar, dan boleh memakannya beberapa jam setelah memasaknya. Dan dia tidak membesar. Dan keterangan itu what we call it governance. So you can read the governance inside this one because of everybody know the product. This one is a governance, means that the environmental impact is a list. Jadi ini bumbunya istilahnya dengan bahan bakunya, ini diberi oleh salah seorang profesor kepada organisasi kita. Kita kan membuat namanya pengajian ya, pengajian tadabur. Jadi ini adalah organisasi tadabur yang mengelolanya nanti. Nanti keuntungan ini untuk membiayai proses tadabur kita. Jadi kita belajar Al-Quran satu ayat kan kita perlu teachers. And next we need also like equipment, like Zoom system. We need to pay for that. And then the money are come from making this and selling this at least. Making governance for the whole step of organization. Input, process, output, outcome, every step of the organization where the product is exists must be governance. Like you are coming to you need to register. You need to register first. You need to attend the class on time. That is our governance. You need to apply for thesis supervisors. You need to arrange the meeting with thesis, and someone in the organization will arrange for you when and where the meeting will be held. That is what we call it governance. Like when you are going to go to the hospital, it depends on the hospital whether the hospital is good or not. I was have a surgery of my eyes last month, last 2 months, and next on the 10th of January I have another surgery. You know what is the governance? The governance of surgery need 1 month after the first eye surgery need to wait for another surgery. The second one is 30 minutes before surgery, we have to stay in the hospital and bring all of requirement. You know, the requirement is easy. Surat rujukan, that's it. And if we bring the surat rujukan from Puskesmas, I'm not paying at all. If not getting any surat rujukan from the Puskesmas, I will pay, another 40 million, jadi 40 juta satu operasi, satu mata saja. That is the governance, and it is a very well enough. Jadi kalau matanya itu di JIC yang paling bagus, Jakarta Eye Center, canggih sekali peralatannya ya, and so on. That is making governance for the whole step of organization. Taxation for government and payment by individual and firms. And the last them, the government produce the basic goods and services, and semi-government like BUMD, BUMDes, and then must not be compete with the others private sectors, like having processing electricity, processing air minum, waters, processing road, itu bisa oleh BUMN. But when the government having the private sector need have their own business, the government have not played their roles in playing the same with the private things. Ini dia di bagian di sini gitu ya. We have now 5:48. I like when someone need or asking before I'm continue and the rest of our time. I might end our class at 6:15 sometime or 6:10 sometime, okay? So we still have a very limited and we continue. So let's you are improve our definition or understanding. So this you can find out in the Google school system, of course, or even in the definition in the textbook of organization. Governance means the way that organization or countries or are managed at the highest levels, and the systems for doing the system and highest level manage. Yeah, that is what we call it, governance. um, Whenever we are having, like in the rural now, how is the governance in, for example, Dukcapil maybe? Gimana governance-nya in Dukcapil? If you don't set up a good governance, it will not efficient. How is the governance in the tax system, car tax system? This is one of the question when I was selecting eselon 2 ya, from eselon 2 dan eselon 3 in Agam Regencies. This is what I'm asking to them, that in which sector you are involved. Dia tanyakan, wah saya berminat untuk transport ya. Jadi sebagai dinas apa nih? DLAJR kayak gitu ya, Dinas Lalu Lintas Jalan Raya. Okay. Do you know what is your new idea in the DLAJR? Wah, dia pusing. Dia katakan tugas DLAJR itu adalah begini, memberikan layanan begini. Okay. So what is the problem in Dinas DLAJR? I'm asking him. Now he cannot detect what is the main problem in Dinas DLAJR. He knows regulation, but he doesn't know exactly what is the main problem facing in Dinas DLAJR. I'm asking him, do you think that efficient is much more important in the roles of your function? Oh, dia baru bisa nangkap. Oh, gitu ya, Pak. Ya. Do you think that the customer need a time? They are very busy. Ya. Terus kenapa kamu harus juga mengajak everybody who are paying for the tax and they bring their own car to the office? Nah, mulai dia pusing kan? Terus gimana? You have to think that cukup membayar pajak itu, dia lagi mau tidur, dia tekan-tekan HP-nya, selesai dia bayar pajak, saya bilang gitu. Oh, gimana mengeceknya, Pak? Kamu bisa buat additional steps. Setelah dia bayar, kamu boleh cari kapan dia punya waktu. Oh, you can make your own way to give the services to everybody. Like, mungkin mengeceknya tidak harus dia datang, kita yang datang. Konsekuensinya dia mungkin membayar. That's okay. Tapi kalau dia membayar, the individual come to the office, you can imagine that when they are just using another 1 days only to extend the taxation, the car taxation, it is not efficient. Jadi saya tanyakan, jika Anda bisa menyusun plan untuk itu, maka saya langsung nyatakan Anda lah yang berhak menjadi kepala dinas DLAJR. Oh gitu ya, ya oke, itu yang maksud saya, governance itu. And pada kesempatan lain, in the other side, I'm asking to one of the candidate, Anda mau apa? Saya di dinas DLAJR. Oke. Anda tahu nggak tentang, do you know exactly about the market Padang Luar? Oh tahu Pak, saya lewat di situ sering. Terus gimana cara ngatasin di Padang Luar? Wah dia pusing. Padang Luar pusing dia kan? Which means that he is not be able to understand in the context what the problem there and how to identify the problem and the way in which the solution is made. So that's why everybody today need to improve your ability in the context of governance. Saya bilang, there is a lot of way. Tapi semua way, cara itu silakan pilih karena dia tidak mungkin ada much better than the others. Maybe this is much better than the others and you can create the policy. One of the policy is you propose to the bupati to make what we call it the other road. Misalnya jalan atas. Or you close everybody selling things along the road in the Padang Luar or Kota Baru. Close dia. Di tepi jalan itu di close. Nggak boleh ada orang. That means that we need what? Regulation. And we need people who are trying to implement regulation in order the market is not jammed. As consequence is overcrowded at this time. That's why because of no governance and it's limited regulation. That's doing it. Now is organization change. Kalian bisa buat pakai CCTV aja. And then make a regulation whenever people are selling there, kita kenakan fine. Pakai CCTV. And then you have to involve 5% of them should be berlakukan undang-undang ketentuan. 5% di antara yang pelanggar itu masukkan ke dalam jail. Jangan kasih ampun. Baru orang takut melanggar ketentuan itu gitu. Ya. 5%. Jadi kalau dalam statistik itu kan 5% rejection rate. Examples of corporate government in action include a board of director discussing the potential risk and reward associated with decision, such as acquisition or merger, conducting employment assessment, price, renewing the price, making assessment of the wage system, replacing anybody else to the new job, which is maybe improve internal environment bergejolak a little bit because of you make decision. That is what we call it a sample of corporate governance. When you take this, you have to aware what is their consequence. Oke, ada yang bertanya, boleh juga berbahasa Indonesia atau and half belut and half separuh belut, separuh bahasa Indonesia boleh, berbahasa Inggris silakan saja. And we have to make sure that ya. Jadi silakan, ayo silakan.
Izin dalam bahasa Indonesia, Prof.
Oke.
Terkait yang pedagang di Pasar Padang Luar, kebetulan ibunya Sinta salah satu guru di SMP 1 Bandung Hampu yang di lokasi Padang Luar itu, Pak.
Oke.
Setiap pagi, hampir setiap pagi, Sinta melihat ada seorang laki-laki yang membawa toa yang selalu menginformasikan kepada pedagang, jangan melewati batas ini. Selalu seperti itu, tapi misal yang yang dilarang itu di sebelah kanan, di saat yang Bapak ini pindah ke kiri, yang kanan itu keluar lagi. Selalu seperti itu, Pak. Jadi bagaimana caranya kita menghandle masyarakat dengan perilaku yang seperti itu? Thank you,
This is
Prof.
a various approach. Various approach in managing like the high risk location. First is introducing, giving some knowledge and so on. If there is not an effective way to improve the knowledge, signing the contract to everybody who are coming to that place. Signing the contract. Whenever you are coming here, whenever you are selling here, kewajibannya apa? Membayar tempat. Haknya apa? Haknya aman bekerja di situ. Yakinkan itu dulu. If you have already contractual Karena kalau di luar negeri itu kan serba kontraktual. If you are having a small shop, you have to contract with the local government. You should do this, you should not do this. If you are be able to do that, that is the improvement of the way in which you manage the place. The others is what we call regulation socialization. And the final one is sanction. And applied for sanction. Jadi bupati nggak boleh lagi kalau setelah dia terapkan misalnya 1 tahun diajarkan, and then the people are not follow the regulation. Bupati have to be brave. Saya katakan 5% aja cukup. Ditangkap orang itu, kalau boleh dibuatkan betul ada di dekat situ yang namanya para pelanggar yang harus dimasukkan ke depan kehakiman, hakim pasar namanya. Buat hakim pasar di sana mungkin di kantor libatkan di dalam pengambilan keputusan kayak gitu. Libatkan atau pemuda sebagai orang yang bisa nanti memutuskan secara bersama. Jadi each step that the people making are not designed well previously. Jadi kalau sekali tua, mungkin tua aja semua. Nggak pernah sudah habis kita ngomong tua. People don't understand. Along which we need to improve, maybe harus dicari jalan yang baru, mungkin di atas, flyovers maybe. Kalau sudah setelah flyover selesai, silakan mereka mau jam lagi di situ, contohnya. Jadi, so it's make every step. My question is, adakah dari Pemda mendalami dan belajar secara scientifically dan membuatkan report tentang ini loh step-step untuk ngatasin ini? Jawabannya pasti tidak ada. Jawabannya the only because of the common sense saja. Common sense itu hanya akal sehat saja. Nah, itu tidak boleh. Itulah bedanya di MM di sini. It is not only common sense. We need to improve. Ini kan kenyataannya ya. Bagaimana penerapan, how to implement the governance, say for example in the processing or in managing market, local market. Jadi kita we need to assess first each step. Saya jamin itu tidak ada yang namanya blue ribbon policy itu. Saya buat TK, Ibu, ya. TK kita tuh saya buat pakai dokumen dulu. Perencanaannya ke apa, berapa orang yang mau apa kriteria gurunya, apa kriteria siswanya, siapa yang akan diwawancara, itu kami buat dulu. Kami rapatkan di internal terus. Jadi hampir tiap malam itu ada zooman dulu kan. Setelah matang semua, ini yang namanya governance. Satu, anak-anak itu nanti mandi waktu pulang. Itu persyaratan kami. Ya. Yang kedua, orang tua tidak boleh masuk ke dalam area. Yang ketiga, anak-anak dia tidak belajar di dalam, tapi work. Oleh karenanya gurunya itu bukan guru, tapi direct, mengarahkan. That's why to improve what we call psychomotoric of children. Kalau tidak, dia tidak akan ada improvisasi dalam mainnya. Dia tidak akan berani mengambil keputusan. Dia tidak akan shouting up jika melihat sesuatu yang sulit. Why? Because of we never teach them like that. So Islamic Montessori system will improve the ability and to prepare the children to readily enter the next level of education. Anak saya keempat-empatnya mendapatkan akses itu. Dan alhamdulillah mereka pada PhD kan, 2 PhD, 1 sudah PhD, sedang lagi PhD, 1 penilai film nasional, dan yang satu adalah memikirkan tentang big data di Indonesia yang baru selesai itu. Jadi dia betul-betul dia create sendiri an ability, and of course insya Allah ya agamanya mudah-mudahan bagus, keempat-empatnya, sholatnya bagus. Mungkin ibu tidak percaya, anak saya yang paling tua itu bayar zakat besar sekali. Ya kan, dia bayar zakat dan dihimpun oleh nomor 3. Nomor 3 ini kan alhamdulillah 30 juz ya. Nomor 3. Sekarang dia di Turki. Ya. Sekarang dia di Turki. Dia ngambil PhD in Islamic Law. Jadi dia yang menghimpun zakat. Zakat abangnya banyak sekali. Karena abangnya sekarang kerjanya wah bagus lah di Jakarta. PhD dia, dokter. Nah, itu contoh ya. And then sayang sekali waktu kita sangat terbatas ini. Saya tidak mau nambah terlalu banyak bahan ini. Tapi biar dulu lah. Governance, governance. I need another class actually. Nantilah biar Bu Dona yang ngatur. Ini masih banyak yang saya siapkan materinya. But at least in the introduction of government and organizational change, at least you can take the main point. Governance means, and governance its roles play in manage of each step of policy. How long the services given by government, for example. Berapa lama services? Di Thailand ya, in Thailand, the agriculture product bring to the export itu only 4 hours. Jadi dari ladang sampai naik ke atas kapal itu maksimum 4 jam. Di Jepang 6 jam maksimum fish import boleh masuk maksimum 6 jam baru maksimum sampai ke dalam pengepakan es. That is a governance. Karena standarnya begitu ketat 6 jam. Dieskan setelah menangkapnya. In Singapore, 1 week. Investor get license 1 week after there are setelah dia memasukkan semua bahan itu seminggu 5 hari kerja and the system are able to reject or refuse, menerima atau menolak. Itu 5 hari. In Indonesia, more than 8 months. Ya kan? What is the implication? Kalau di 8 bulan baru investasi the izin keluar. Saya lagi ngurus tentang izin tambang. Do you know the cost of izin tambang? The under what do you call it? Biaya yang tidak tertulis itu 1 miliar, 2 miliar. Izin tambang loh. Saya mau usahakan banyak tambang di sini, saya mau izinkan gitu. Tapi saya nggak jadi. Kenapa? Saya harus cari uang 2 miliar. Dari mana saya dapatkan? Dari orang yang mengurus selama ini. Tuh. Kita bisa dapatkan orangnya. Kita boleh buat. Government is role a percent of market share of the total share. That is what we call it. There have a guide to each policy and action undertaken. There have a guide to each policy and action undertaken. Jadi kalau orang ini pergi jalan-jalan, kunker, kunjungan kerja, either any guides produced as consequence of kunjungan kerja, berapa banyak itu DPRD atau Pemda atau Bupati, Kepala Dinas pergi-pergi, either any improvement in guidelines and governance of in each job undertaken? And the answer is depend on the experience of everybody in this class. Okay? Mungkin begini, karena waktu kita sudah maghrib ya, sedekat maghrib. Jadi 6.10, katakanlah sedikit lagi. Another 2 or 3 minutes. Ada nggak pertanyaan lagi yang tadi? Kira-kira itu Ibu, tadi penjelasan tentang toa yang ada di padang luar. Jadi kan dia step by step. But the important thing, we need to make what we call ini. Guide ini dulu. Apa sih problemnya? Seperti apa step-stepnya dibuat? Apakah TOA itu menangani step 5 atau step 1 atau step 2? Kan kita harus tahu. Hah? Hah? Saya yakin hari ini you are all understand what I'm meaning by governance and organizational change. Nah, itulah dia. Sama dengan sampah. Pertanyaannya Wim Aarts, apanya nih yang mau dipolisikan? Saya harus lihat di lapangan dulu, dia bilang kan. Oke, you have 20 days coming here. And, jadi apa arti syaratnya? Satu, memisah dalam rumah tangga. Yang kedua adalah memisah di tempat pembuangan bank lokal. Yang ketiga, mengumpulkan dari situ agar tidak tercampur di pembuangan akhir. Di keempat adalah dari pembuangan akhir diproses pada masing-masingnya menjadi zero-wasted. There are 4 steps. Saya tanya kepada Dinas Lingkungan Hidup, kamu punya dokumen tentang ini enggak? Gimana cara ngatasin? Enggak ada, Pak. Saya tanya kepala orang yang ahli-ahli lingkungan, yang dokter-dokter, profesor lingkungan, kamu ngerti enggak ini? Belum ngerti saya, Pak. So we need to understand and learn a lot in order to improve our ability, our action, and I hope that you can take the insight. I have another material, but next I'm going to present for everybody. I think that's enough for the introduction for the first session today. If there is any question, I'm still okay, but if you don't have any question, have a relaxed time, good weekend tonight. Hopefully tomorrow you have, of course, a class. You have to be patient. Jadi harus sabar ya mengikuti kelas. You have to read a lot. You have to discuss a lot. Ya, jangan bosan. And then at the same time and a certain time, you can give your own roles according to your understanding. That's it. I will end my class by saying Alhamdulillahirrabbilalamin. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank
Waalaikumsalam
you so much, Prof.
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay. How many all of you today? Berapa orang?
6 of us.
6,
6 ya?
Six,
Oke lah.
yes.
Ya, oke. Masih ada kelas malam ini?
Enggak ada, Prof.
Nggak ada ya? Oke lah. Sampai ketemu lain kali ya. Nanti mungkin sesi berikutnya mungkin biar Dona yang ngatur kapan lagi saya akan berikan. Saya lanjutkan, nanti materinya masih banyak lagi ya.
Baik, Prof.
Oke, untuk hari ini
Gitu.
sudah cukup. Oke, baik. Saya izin ya. Saya izin keluar.
Jadi nanya.
Noodles, noodles. Mimi, mimi.
Chief nanti.
How are you, Pak Izin? Sudah semangat nampaknya.
Enggak, next time masih sama Prof kan enggak?
Masih Din. Jadi
Iya.
sekarang udah sesi Prof. Nanti setelah sesi Prof baru sesi Pak Dasep lagi. Pak Dasep. Lalu baru terakhir Pak Maggie.
Bye.
Oke, thank you ya guys.
Okay, see you in my imagination. Bye-bye.
See you next week.
See you next week.
Yes.
See you in dream.
Not in the imagination. Okay, bye.